Hello everyone, myself Kalpesh Kubal and today we are going to learn about introspection in PHP. What is introspection? Introspection is a method of self-observation. The word intro means within and the spection means looking. So in general, an individual looking within oneself is nothing but introspection. Now in PHP, the introspection is the ability of the program to examine an object's characteristics like class name, parent class, properties or attributes, and methods or a function. Now it is useful for debuggers or serializers because they don't have knowledge of the program. They don't have information regarding the attributes and the functions of the program. So by calling such introspective functions, they will get the information of all the things. Now these are few introspective functions in PHP. The very first function is class exists function. It takes class name as a parameter and returns the boolean value. If the class exists, then it returns 1. If class doesn't exist, it will not return anything. For example, class rectangle and class square. Now class square extends rectangle, so there is a inheritance relationship between the rectangle and square. Now inside a rectangle there are two attributes, dim1 and dim2, and there are three functions, rectangle, area and display. Now inside square there is one attribute side and there are two functions, square and print. After that I have created an object of rectangle. I have called the methods of rectangle. Then I have created object of square and I have called methods of square. Then I have called class exist function. Inside a bracket I have passed rectangle as a class name. Since rectangle class exists, so it will display 1. But in second statement I have passed the class name as SKU. So SKU class doesn't exist, there is a class square, so it will not display anything since it does not exist. That is class exists. The second function is get declared classes. This function returns an array of classes defined inside the class. Now it will display the inbuilt classes as well as user defined classes. The syntax is just you have to call the get underscore declare underscore classes function and it will display the array. Now the same code I have used, at the end I have called get underscore declare underscore classes function and I have the print the structure of that result. So here if you see the index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3 all are containing inbuilt classes, and if you see at index 143 and 144 there is a class rectangle and a square. So till 142 there are inbuilt classes and then user defined class rectangle and square. So it will give you all the list of defined classes inside your program. Second, get class methods. Now this function returns an array of methods names defined inside a class. Okay. It will also display the method names which are inherited from the superclass. Okay, so the syntax is get class method, inside bracket you have to pass the class name. Now example, again the same example, and I have called the method get underscore class underscore methods. Inside a bracket I have passed the parameter as rectangle. Now rectangle has three methods, that is rectangle, area and display. So see here inside array at index 0 it is showing first method, that is rectangle, index 1 second method area, and at index 2 the third method display. Then I have again called the same method and now I am passing inside square as a class name. So now it displays at index 0 the square method, then index 1 print method, and since it is inheriting from the methods from the superclass, so all superclass method also rectangle, area and display. That is nothing but get class methods. Now like methods we can get the list of variables or attributes or properties of the class also. So again same, only there is a difference that it will return an associative array. So associative array means your keys are nothing but your names and the values are the original value of that particular attributes. So here, okay, this is the example of get class var. Here again I am calling the method twice. First I am passing parameter as a rectangle, second I am passing parameter as a square. Both are the class names. Now when I am passing rectangle class name, what output I am getting? I am getting dim1 2 and dim2 10, because here see dim1 value is 2 and dim2 value is 10, so I am getting answer like this. Now here inside a square, see the side value is 2, so when I am calling square class, then I am getting answer as side as 2, dim1 as 2 and dim2 as 10. Since it is a subclass, it is inheriting the attributes of a superclass, so it is showing all the attributes. Now next, get parent class. This function returns the parent class name of class passed as a argument. So always you have to pass here the subclass name and it will show the superclass of that particular class. Okay, again the same example. Here I am calling get parent class and inside bracket I am passing square as a class name, because square is a subclass of a rectangle. So now what it will return? It will return the square ka parent class. Now square ka parent class is rectangle, so it will display rectangle as a name. But if you pass here rectangle, it will not display anything because rectangle is a superclass. It doesn't have any parent class. Next is get object var. Like previous, we have seen the class attributes. Now we will see the objects attributes. Again it is same, get object var, and inside a bracket you have to pass the object instead of class name. Now same example. Now I am calling get object var and inside a bracket I am passing r as object of rectangle. Then I am displaying the information. Then I am getting the answer as dim1 4, dim2 2. Now see this time inside a bracket, see when I created an object of rectangle r, inside a bracket I have passed the value 4 and 2. Now 4 and 2, when the rectangle will be called, that object will be initiated. The dim1 will get value as 4 and dim2 will get value as 2. So now when you will call the object variables, it will display those values instead of original class values. Now same thing happens with the square. When I have created an object of square, I have passed 5 as a value. So that 5 will get stored inside object s. So when I will call the square method, that time I will get side as 5, dim as 2 and dim2 as 10. This function will check whether the parameter passed inside a bracket is object or not. Okay, in this example I have passed the parameter r, and now see here I have created an object rectangle r, so I am passing this object inside a bracket. Now see I am getting the output as 1 since that object is exists, so I am getting answer as 1. If I have passed r1 as an object, then it will not show anything. Same way here I have passed the object as, since I have created object as, so it is showing answer as 1. The next function is get underscore class. Now it will take parameter as an object and it will tell you the class name of that particular object. For example, here I have called get underscore class. Inside a bracket I am passing parameter as a r, and that r is nothing but object. Now it will tell me the name of this object, that this r object belongs to which class. Since it belongs to a rectangle class, it will display answer as rectangle. Again I am calling the same method and there is a parameter $s. S is nothing but object of square class. So now it will display the answer as square.